Hello students, this is Sucharata teaching you history class 9, the third chapter, Nazism and the rise of Hitler. But before we actually start with the chapter, let's become familiar with the new terms and concepts which will be used again and again in the chapter. The first one, as we shall be talking about, is dictatorship. Dictatorship is in fact that form of government in which all the powers rest with an individual or group of individuals. They have unlimited powers and they do not have any kind of restrictions. They feel that whatever they are doing is absolutely justified. That's being a dictator, and the kind of government is termed as dictatorship. Nazism. Nazism is in fact the mixture of dictatorship and fascism, a form which was developed by Hitler. This again talks of absolute powers in the hands of an individual. This also makes a person autocrat. So, Nazism in Germany, and when we talk of its counterpart, it can be fascism in Italy by Mussolini. So, they are the other side or the other picture of dictatorship only. Of course, the name varies. Nazi. Nazi is a short form of Nationalist Socialist German Workers' Party. This was propounded or founded by Hitler when he felt the need of breaking down the government of his country, when he felt the need of actually teaching a lesson to the world as to how they had ill-treated Germany, and when he felt the need that Germany has to be strengthened economically, politically. That is the time that Nazi was formed. Axis power. Axis power, Germany, Italy and Japan together are termed as Axis power, who fought the World War together. Allied powers. Allied powers, it's Britain, France and Russia, of course later on joined by the US, and you shall see in the chapter as to how and when US will join both the world wars and why does it keep sitting and does not enter the world war in the initial stages. The Great Depression. The Great Depression is the economic slump which occurred in the year 1929 to 1935 the world around. The people lost their job, that is unemployment was on its peak, and the people felt the need of reviving the economy everywhere. The worst affected of course was the US. Next is the Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor is situated in the Hawaiian island of Honolulu, and this is the place where Japan had attacked on 7th December 1941, and it was the retaliation of this particular attack that US actually bombed their two major cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This was actually the place where all their aircraft were there. Gestapo. Gestapo was a secret police of the Germans who tortured the people, who killed them. That was the Gestapo. And we'll continue with more terms in the following clipping. Continuing with the new terms, the next one is Holocaust. Holocaust is actually a Greek word which means completely burnt. This was a term used by the Germans when they actually mass murdered the Jews, when they were completely burnt either by gassing or by any such method, it was called as a Holocaust. Semite. The people of Southwest Asia are termed as Semite. Generally, the term is used for the Jews and the Arabs, but in Germany, it was used just for the Jews. Next is the Wall Street Exchange. It is the biggest stock market situated in US, which collapsed during the Great Depression. Concentration camp, a place where the Jews were actually kept together and then they were killed. That was the concentration camp. Next is the Jung Walk. Jung Walk was in fact Nazi youth group, generally below the year 14. Now you already know the terms which are new for you, but let's know about the new famous personalities which you need to know. First one is Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, the mighty German dictator who gave Germany a new name and strength on the world map. He was the one who was responsible for actually inciting in the people, the German people, the love for motherland and the feeling that they need to take revenge from the world, that the world had done to them, the wrongs that the world had done to them during the First World War after the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. But he was forced to commit suicide on 30th April 1945. Next is Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt is that President of America who served for 4 consecutive terms. Next is Harry S. Truman. Harry S. Truman, he is the one who is responsible for bombarding the 2 cities of Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Next is Winston Churchill. He was the British Prime Minister who gave success, or rather who made Britain win the World War, the Second World War. General Tozo. General Tozo was the Prime Minister of Japan and he had an aggressive foreign policy. In fact, he was the one who actually was responsible for throwing a bomb on the Pearl Harbor, which precipitated the Second World War. And now in the next clipping, I start with the chapter and about Hitler in Germany.